What is going on YouTube? It's Brendan from Market Makers. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Got a good video for you today. Going to look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, the equities, some commodities, and talk a little bit about some news going on in the marketplace. Lots of things going on in the marketplace. BitBoy is playing Scooby-Doo, I guess, and trying to investigate or go over to the Bahamas and talk to Sam Bankman-Fried. That's been, I guess, somewhat entertaining for some people. Guys, a lot of some predictions are coming out in the Bitcoin space about what targets are going to be hit. And I showed my terminal target that I've shared many times before. I want to explain something on targets because people get confused, right? Because everybody says, well, you had 10,000, now you think it's going lower. I gave you this 10,000 target based off this trend-based fib back when Bitcoin made that second all-time high, basically a year ago, guys. I've had this 10,565 target down here. But, you know, again, this is just a target. This is something that Bitcoin can rally from, Bitcoin can fall through. That's over a year old. Given the current market conditions, what I anticipate happening next year, with the recession and everything that we talk about frequently on this channel, this target of the 3,800 is what I expect to be hit as the terminal target, meaning the bottom for Bitcoin. The same target going back to that pandemic low. Okay, so that's a key difference here. Having a target versus a terminal target is what I'm talking about here. So yes, that 10,000 will get hit, obviously, but so will that 3,800, I believe, next year will be hit. So let's look at a couple of things. Let's look at some new predictions that are coming out in the marketplace. Mark Mobius, billionaire Bitcoin predictor here. He's a billionaire investor. He has his target of $10,000 in dangerous crypto market. So when he's not busy planning on ways to kill James Bond, look at this guy. Does this guy look like a villain or what? When he's not busy on planning on ways to kill James Bond, he's making predictions. But no, he's a good guy, I'm sure. But you know, I was reading this article, guys, and it's just I wanted to point something out to you here. You know, talking about it's amazing how Bitcoin prices have held up despite the FTX fallout. Back to 10K. Some forecasters think Bitcoin may sink back to levels prevailing prior to the bull run. And, you know, the chaotic slide into bankruptcy of Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX. Guys, this is the difference of understanding a market cycle and understanding, you know, what's happening in the market in general. And I say that because I was able to give you that 10,000 target a year ago, prior to Celsius going bankrupt, prior to Voyager, prior to BlockFi, prior to the FTX. The reason being is if you understand the market cycle and what is coming in front of you, these are all natural occurrences. We're in a bubble market cycle, a bubble. That means all the leverage in these marketplaces, all these bad faith actors will get washed out just like they did in the dot-com bust, just like they should have been in the great financial crisis in '08, but we bailed them all out. Okay, so that's what's happening in this space is it's being cleansed of all of these bad faith actors with some of these assets as well that just have zero value and will disappear after this cycle. And this is a good thing for crypto. And I do think crypto, even though I have these low targets, don't confuse that with, you know, my opinion about crypto. Obviously, I've been able to retire based on my trading from Bitcoin and equities and Forex space. But, you know, this is just where I'm going to accumulate Bitcoin is down here next year, guys, after the recession actually knocks prices down dramatically, okay? I know lots of people, because I'm active on Twitter ever since Musk got it, lots of people are talking about accumulating here. And I just say, why? Why would you accumulate before the massive financial hurricane, as Jamie Dimon calls it, is coming next year? Doesn't make any sense. But again, if you have a different view of the market, if you're talking about, oh, the halving, if you're talking about Bitcoin's never done this because I have a fractal from 2013, if you're a 19-year-old living in Dubai and you're showing videos going to 130K, I get it, because your bias means you think it's going to the upside. But on this channel, guys, what we try to do is realistic TA, focus on the trading, understand the primary trend, you understand my thesis, super bubble, everything's going lower next year. So in the meantime, we trade. So I see people ask me all the time, well, Do you think the recession will hit, in the spring? Do you think the recession will hit and the collapse will be in the fall of next year? That stuff's so hard to predict, guys. I'm just guessing like you are. As far as the recession, I'm looking at the yield inversions. The 3-month 10-year has a 5-month to 8-month lag. That should put you somewhere between, March and June, somewhere in there. So, that's just based off the yield curve inversion. And other than that, it's really just guessing, but it doesn't matter because if you understand the primary trend is down, you're going to have waves up, you're going to have waves down. But if you understand everything's going to be getting cheaper into next year, throughout next year, we're going to track this based on the price action. Case in point, all the trades I shared with you last video hit. They all hit, including the euro dollar trade, okay? So if you understand the macro market cycle, you can understand the resistance levels you need to look at to formulate your trading plan and make profits along the way. So I do anticipate all of these targets being hit down to 38.51. Does it mean Bitcoin can't wave up? No, I think it's going to wave up at some point, guys. But, right now on the weekly, you're hung up right there at the 16.4, 16.5 you've been stuck at for weeks, okay? So that hasn't changed at all. And of course, that next level down, the 13.6 getting underneath that fan. Next level down, 8,700. But we look at this stuff on the daily. And on the daily, we can just pull some simple fib retracements, but the number you always want to keep in the forefront of your mind is right there. That's going to be roughly 21.6. That's your 200 moving average on the daily. Whenever you do get bullish, you want to look for that battle with that because being in a primary downtrend, the 200 moving average is going to be key to flipping to go anywhere, and I don't think you're going to flip it. I think you're going to battle it, maybe get above it at some juncture, because remember, this is descending, okay? This will catch up with price at some level, whether it's up here at 21 or whether it's further down at 14 or 12 or 10, okay? It's going to catch up, and they're going to battle at some level. So we'll see what happens when that occurs. But being a risk asset, Bitcoin is just being, slowly steeping down here. And of course, once again, that trade I shared here with you guys. But let's go ahead and look at this, just pull some fib retracements, right? So we're going to go ahead and pull a fib retracement here on the daily time frame. And I'm looking at, see how accurate this has been hitting. If you're looking for resistances on your daily, look at your 618, 17, 120, 119 to be specific. It's been an excellent resistance level. Got some good scalps in here off of this resistance level. You can see you're wicking 16,804, then you're just rolling down, and now you're at the 382, the 16,489, right? So you can do this in reverse, and we do this in the smaller time frames too. We go ahead and back this the other way. And you can see this as well. So you have the one fib is 15,469, which obviously you've hit twice. Okay, so that's your one fib. And you bounced up off that. Your 618 is now 16,489. Your 0.5 is 16,804. And you're just stuck below that now in this downward projection with the 1618 bringing you down to 13,820. Okay, 13,820, roughly 14K. That's where your next stop is going to be if Bitcoin continues to roll over. Now, when we start zooming into the smaller time frames, we can look at the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame, awesome trades come from the 4-hour time frame. And where do they come from, guys? The 200, 233, 200 in white, 233 in red. Looking at this, we can do this the same way. Fibonacci retracement. Look where your one fib is, 18,138. So if we do get any type of upward momentum, then you could see price come up and test at 18,138, maybe get above it, maybe get rejected lower. But you want to watch this because this has been, a godsend with trading in a primary downtrend market for Bitcoin. Been getting excellent trades off that, as you guys know. And again, you look at the 618, 17, 119. Again, just lots of retracements here based off that 618. So Bitcoin, even on the 4-hour, we have guys that are scalping here in our Discord. And guys, if you want to check out our Discord, it is half off. download Discord, verify your account via email that they send you, and click the link in the video description. Over 100 of you have joined, and welcome to our room, by the way. And I love to see you guys there. It's $20 if you want to try it out for a month, running that sale to the end of the year. And of course, these videos brought to you by BITGET and SimpleFX. BITGET for all the cryptos, link in the video description. SimpleFX for everything else, equities, stocks, commodities, links and instructions in the video description with our bonus. So this is what we're looking at, guys. And on the 4-hour time frame, nothing new under the sun here. And if we want to go ahead and do this in reverse as well and get the downward projection so you can see this, you can see your one fib here, 15,469, and once again your 13,820 at the 1618. Okay, I like to lay out my fibs the same way unless I'm looking at really micro ranges, because you can see how accurate it's been tracking from the larger time frame to a more medium-sized time frame like the 4-hour. So not a lot to give you here, guys. This is just range trading, and we'll hopefully see some more movement sometime soon. Ethereum, looking at Ethereum here, you have your 200 descending. Your 200 is roughly 1474. You can see Ethereum is just going sideways as well. Rejected at the 200 here. That's a good trade, guys. 1662 got rejected right there. And that's the upside, is 1618 at 1520 if Ethereum was able to break out. And again, Ethereum finding a lot of resistance up here at the 764 at 1284. But let's go ahead and look at this on the 4-hour, because that's probably more interesting since the daily is not moving a whole lot. Look at this on the 4-hour, because now you have your 200 and 233 above you. You see that? So your 233 at 1289, your 200 at 1344. Let's pull this in. Let's get a measurement here. Let's get, I guess we'll get the upside projections again. I mean, this chart looks just like Bitcoin's chart, right? So your one fib's at 1349. That's a great target if for some reason you got upward momentum, because that's the 200 and the one fib, 1349. The 233 is coming down to your 764 at 1284. And again, you can see the accuracy of the fib layout. Fibs don't mean anything unless you lay them out correctly. The market is about proportionality and symmetry. That's the whole point of esoteric trading, Fibonacci trading. The market's always contracting or expanding. So you need to find the correct wave that shows you that you're getting hits on these fibs to make them accurate. If you're always only measuring everything from extreme to extreme, you're missing all of these other movements that happen in price, okay, when you look at these on the larger time frames versus smaller time frames. So if we want to go ahead and do this in reverse and get our support levels here on the 4-hour in case you get more dissension. Again, your 1618 is down at $900, guys. So $900. So you're having a lot of struggles here at the 0.5. Remember, this would be aiming downwards, right? So your 618 is 1178, 764 is 1137, one fib is 1072, which you almost hit already. So you're in a wave pattern, okay? You're just waving up and down, up and down. MFI is about to get rejected at the median line. So, you know, volumes negligible and okay. This is the 4-hour time frame, but you know, nothing to get too excited about. Crypto's basically on pause. Let's go to stocks 50 and look at some equities. Equities stocks 50 gave you this target here, the 1618. Of course, we got our little wicks above it, and of course we fell back down below it. Now we're back below our Gann gradient as well. Like to see this hold and start rolling down. This is a massive 22% rally up. So I think this has a lot to give up. The 200 moving average is back down here at 36.63, just a bounce off the 200. So we'll see if this continues to pull down. Again, volume divergent across all these indices. The Dow, same thing, big 500-point drop yesterday. 500-point drop, got up close to that 1618.34.380, and the Dow's back in this previous little mini cough trading range here, back inside it, trying to hold still. A lot of things are flat. Powell's talking tomorrow, guys. Fed Chair Powell will be speaking tomorrow, and everybody anticipates it to be hawkish. Remember, we're in this environment where bad news is good news, but also, in my opinion, good news is good news. Because if you watch CNBC, I think Fox has some better, authentic people who give their real opinion. CNBC tends to have, I'm talking about Fox Business, CNBC tends to have permeable panels. They'll have a guy, maybe a guy, if you're lucky, if you watch any of these shows during midday, they'll have a guy that has more of a bearish view, but everybody else is always buying something. They're always buying something, even if the market's descending, right? So they never see these market moves. And if you guys look at the inverse Kramer index, because Jim Cramer is the big showrunner on CNBC, I think in September, October, it was up 70% for the year. 70%. So just keep that in mind, guys, because what happens is, if Powell comes out super hawkish, the markets could easily dump. Okay, in the speech he's going to give tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern time, the markets could easily dump. If he comes off just mediocre or somewhere in the middle, they could say, look, Powell's not being super hawkish. The markets could rally. Okay, it's the same thing. It's the same thing with news. Like yesterday, there's protests going on in China over that pandemic virus that I can't say the name of. There's protests going on over that. So despite the fact the Dow, despite the fact the S&P were all at key resistance, the market went down because of the protest. That's why the market went down. Okay, and when you look at this on the S&P, had nothing to do with being at the 200, 233. Again, the difference between a technical analyst and somebody that's only looking at news events and fundamentals of a company. To them, it had nothing to do with being rejected from the 200, 233. And then today, 12 hours later, the market's easing its fears over the protests. Like, it's just always a BS news item that they're going to throw out in front of you. But the market in general wants to be bullish, guys. We talked about this before. Over 90% of all the money in the world that's in equities is long. It's not short, so they want to be bullish. So they'll always try to find stories about why it's going to be bullish, right? If the CPI is high, they're afraid that Powell will be hawkish. So if he's going to be hawkish and raise rates more, the markets will dump. The CPI comes in lower than expected, regardless of Powell going out there and saying, we're going to keep raising rates and keep them up longer than the market expects. The market rallies because they don't believe them. And so this is the environment we're trading in. So you're going to get a lot of whipsaws, a lot of different things happening. Speaking of the S&P, though, on the daily, as you can see, gave you this yesterday as well, guys. And this is a trade we posted earlier to set up in the room. And this gave us a nice drop down from basically 40.43 to 39.55. So you're printing a double top here on the S&P. As you guys know, I don't predict a Christmas rally. I think we front run the Christmas rally. I think Powell may really try hard to smack down the markets tomorrow because this is counter what he wants to have happen. He needs the markets to show weakness, even though he says they don't watch the markets, because this is an easing of financial conditions, and he wants a tightening of financial conditions. He wants rates to go up. He wants the markets to come down. Okay, so I expect him to be hawkish. And again, the market's going to measure how hawkish he really is. Well, he's not as hawkish as we thought, so let's rally. But that's why we got to look at the technicals, guys. You got to look at the technicals. And right now, this is lining up. This is a beautiful trade so far. Again, bearish divergence here. So we'll see how this plays out. If we break this double top, we're coming back down. Logical target would be the 50-day moving average down around 3,800. Okay, so we'll see if that breaks or if it holds support. Looking at the Russell, again, gave you guys this trade. We've been trading this multiple times in the room. We traded it up here in the 1900s, 1901, 1908, that back down. Now we came up for that double top. Talked about this yesterday in the channel. Got a nice move down since the last video, guys. Nice move from, where we get to, 1873 down to roughly 1826, basically a $50 move. And now we're just trying to make our little base here. Again, beautiful double top, daily time frame, large time frame. If it does come down and break a neckline, then maybe you're looking at 1776. Your freedom, 1776. Okay, if we look at this on the, there we go. On the MFI, once again, we had bearish divergence, low volume participation. These were all low volume rallies, guys. I say this over and over again, but this is all predictable to get these trades. Now, will it break down further? We'll see. I personally think it will. I think it has a bias to break down further. But these are all predictable. If you understand volume, if you understand the macro market cycle, you can really find these trades, and all of you can do this, okay? We talk about this and teach us in the room as well. But these are all low volume rallies up, okay? What happens in low volume rallies is they build tops at key resistance, such as a 45 angle, the 200 moving average, may get above it, but they start to falter and fall apart. Looking at the NASDAQ, Oh, there you go. The NASDAQ looks like it's breaking its double top right now. So your NASDAQ, again, MFI, is still bullish here, but you're tilting down towards a median line, built a double top. You could even call that almost a triple top. Negative volume participation. Look at the volume, all below average for this big move up. All below average. NASDAQ looks like it's going to break, and then you printed this beautiful double top. You got back up to that 1 fib, 11,859, okay? Printed this beautiful double top. You're going to fall back down to the 618 at least at 11,378. 50 is just below it. And so, yes, this is bearish. And if the NASDAQ starts falling apart, I will anticipate more downside for the other indices as well. And looking at silver, gave you this as well, with silver coming back up, retested the 618 at 21.61, and of course silver came back down on that candle after the video, and now it's coming back up. If it gets back up there again, good potential short opportunity. I like it better at 22.24, giving you that higher double top, but as of right now it's fighting the 200 233. Bearish money flow, double top on the money flow. So this candle could reverse, and this may be a good entrance for it currently at 21.31 where it is now. So just keep that in mind. If you do want to trade those commodities, check out SimpleFX. Awesome exchange. And looking at gold, gold has a similar shape, but it's not battling key resistance, right? So that's the difference. I prefer to trade the assets that are battling key resistance. You have the double top here on the money flow, have our Fibonacci. Gold's just kind of, let me zoom this in a little bit so you can see this. Gold is just kind of, you know, it's wicking, it's getting supply dumped on it here, but I don't really have anything here that makes me overly excited about trading gold. I liked it better up here at the 200, okay? That's just my style of trading. I trade at extremes. So could you short gold knowing that it's making a double top, knowing that silver's fighting for its life to not break down into a double, have its double top break down? You could, but between the two assets, why wouldn't you look at this one when you have clear long-term resistance, hitting key resistance on the fib at 21.61? If it comes back up there and wicks it again, this is just more attractive to me. It's part of target selection, right? Now the euro dollar trade, guys, I gave you this the other day as well. This is something we traded both tops in the room. Both tops. First top breakdown was 250 plus pips. The second top breakdown was another 150 plus pips. I think 158 pips. I told you if it comes up and tags at 1618 at 1.04782, which is exactly what it did, gave you a 158 pip drop. 160, I think it went down even a little bit more. And we have this rolling over, of course, and now you've printed this double top, and if the double top starts rolling over, more dissension. If you guys like trading crypto, I do recommend checking out our room to try out Forex as well. We have active Forex traders. I've traded Forex for over a decade. It is a lot of fun to trade. It can have a lot of liquidity in these, it is a lot of liquidity in these markets, but you can have a lot of movement in these markets due to all the Fed rate hikes around the world, the central banks battling with rate hikes. And so it gives you a lot of something else to trade other than crypto when crypto is just flat, right? Also the equities. And again, all that stuff is on SimpleFX. Guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Another video coming Thursday. As always, I'll answer your comments and questions below. Please do subscribe to the channel. A third of you have not that watch this. And definitely like the video. Send it out to your friends if you enjoy it. And I'll talk to you guys Thursday. Take care, everybody.